You know that person who never really hugs back? The one who doesn't post birthday wishes, doesn't say I love you even when you do. They're not cold, they're not distant, but they don't show affection the way you expect, and it quietly eats at you. But here's the question, why? Is it because they don't care, because they were raised that way, or maybe something much deeper? And here's what's even more fascinating. The reason might have nothing to do with how they actually feel about you. Stick with me until the end, because what you'll discover might even explain your own relationship patterns. For some, it's about emotional independence. Imagine this. You're sitting across from someone you love. They're telling you about their day. You're listening. You care deeply. But when they lean in for a hug, you freeze. Not because you don't want to, but because physical touch feels like crossing a boundary you've built. Now here's what happens next. They pull back. They think you don't care. But that's not it at all. This is emotional self-sufficiency taken to an extreme. People like this grew up in environments where affection wasn't modeled, where love was shown through actions, not words, through providing, not hugging. They developed what psychologists call secure detachment. It's not avoidant attachment. It's different. They love you. They just learned that love doesn't need constant verbal or physical validation. It's not about being cold. It's about having different emotional scripts. And here's the difference. Their internal experience is just as warm. Their external expression is just muted. Does that mean they're emotionally stunted? Of course not. But what does it mean? It means their love language was written in a different dialect. And you know what? That's completely valid. They're not broken. They're just wired differently. Then there are those who fear vulnerability. Picture this scenario. Someone tells you they love you. Your heart races. Not from joy, from panic. Because the last time you opened up, you got hurt. The last time you showed affection, it was used against you. So now your brain has learned a simple equation. Affection equals danger. This is emotional risk aversion at its core. These people experienced what therapists call relational trauma. Maybe a parent weaponized their emotions. Maybe a partner left right after they opened up. So their nervous system developed a protective response. Show less. Hurt less. It's not conscious. It's automatic. But here's where it gets tricky. The less they show, the more people pull away. And the more people pull away, the more their fear gets confirmed. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy rooted in confirmation bias. Their brain says, see, I was right not to show affection. Now, this is where most people get it wrong. They think these individuals don't want closeness. Wrong. They crave it desperately. They just don't know how to reach for it without feeling exposed. Think about that for a second. They want exactly what they can't give. And here's the most interesting part. Their lack of affection is actually a twisted form of self-protection. It's fear masquerading as indifference. We also see people with low emotional granularity. Here's what I mean. You ask them how they feel, they say, fine. You push deeper, still fine. Not because they're hiding something, but because they genuinely don't know. They can't identify the 47 shades between happy and sad. This is called alexithymia in clinical terms. It's emotional colorblindness. These people weren't taught to name their feelings growing up. Emotions were dismissed or ignored. So they never developed the internal vocabulary. When they feel affection, it registers as something, but they can't translate it into words or gestures. It's like trying to describe a sunset when you've never learned color names. It's not about withholding. It's about not having the language. And here's the difference. They're not emotionally unavailable. They're emotionally illiterate. Two completely different things. Does this mean they don't feel deeply? Absolutely not. But they can't express what they can't name. Their feelings exist in a fog. Intense but undefined. Close but unreachable. And honestly, that's exhausting for them too. Imagine feeling something powerful but having no way to communicate it. That's their daily reality. Another group struggles with activation energy. Think of it like this. You want to text someone you love? Simple, right? But for them, that text requires enormous mental effort. Not because they don't care, but because their brain treats affectionate gestures as high-energy tasks. This connects to executive dysfunction and something called the motivation-action gap. Maybe they have ADHD, maybe depression, maybe chronic anxiety. Whatever the cause, their brain doesn't release dopamine for social tasks the way neurotypical brains do. Showing affection feels like climbing a mountain every single time. Here's what happens. They think about calling you. They want to. But the gap between wanting and doing feels insurmountable. Days pass, then weeks, and they feel guilty, which makes it even harder to reach out. It becomes a vicious cycle. It's not about priority, it's about capacity. And here's where it gets really misunderstood. You think they don't care enough to make the effort. They think they're fundamentally broken for finding it so hard. Both of you are wrong. But here's the truth. Their struggle is neurological, not emotional. The affection exists. The pathway to express it is just blocked. Let that sink in. And finally, there are those who simply don't value affection displays. Controversial take, though, but some people genuinely don't see affection as important. Not because of trauma, not because of fear, but because their value system weights other things higher. They show love through loyalty, through showing up, through remembering the small things. But not through saying I love you or holding hands. This ties into different attachment orientations and personal value hierarchies. For them, words are cheap. Actions matter. A birthday text means nothing. Being there at 3 a.m. when you need them, everything. They operate on what psychologists call instrumental love versus expressive love. It's not that they're dismissive, they just measure love differently. And here's the most interesting part. In their mind, they're showing you constant affection. You're just looking for it in the wrong places. Does that invalidate your need for verbal or physical affection? No. But does it mean they don't love you? Also, no. It means you're speaking different languages. Neither is more valid than the other. Think about it. Is the person who says I love you daily but never shows up more loving than someone who's silent but always present? Neither. They're just different expressions of the same feeling. So whether you're the one who can't say it, the one who's scared to show it, or the one who simply expresses it differently, here's what it means. For some, it's about how you were raised. Love was quiet in your house, functional but not demonstrative, so that became your blueprint. You replicate what you know. For others, it's about protection. You learned that opening up leads to pain, so you keep your cards close, not from coldness, but from survival instinct. And for many, it's about not having the tools. You feel deeply, but can't translate feelings into gestures. The emotion exists, but the expression doesn't. And you know what? None of these are wrong. They're just different ways of moving through the world, different strategies for managing connection and self-preservation. The real question is, which one are you? Do you recognize yourself in any of these patterns? Have you noticed how your childhood shows up in your relationships today? What does that say about how you see love itself? If this made you think differently about affection and connection, you'll absolutely love the other psychology topics we cover here, all backed by real psychology. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the next video. Leave a comment with your thoughts and tell me honestly, which category resonated with you most, and let us know what video you want next. Your suggestions literally shape this channel.